action.
Rolling. Rolling. There's nothing actually rolling.
There's nothing rolling. Yeah. Except your fucking eyes.
Yeah, right. Right. Click, click, click.
What's good, you creeps?
As you can tell, unscripted. Unscripted podcast. Fucking 85% of your stuff is about murder.
About murder. That's fair. Because our listeners love fucking murder. Hit them up with the Gmail.
You can send us an email with your suggestions, comments, or concerns at basedontrueeventspodcast@gmail.com.
Boom. Hey, in case you missed it, we're talking about jerking off.
Woo!
What's up, man?
What's going on, bro?
I'll probably edit that part out. Probably not, actually. You know how we roll?
You don't fucking edit anything.
Edit strong. No, I just decided, you know what? We've got nothing to hide, and you know, time is money.
Yeah, I'm gonna play around on the internet while you're trying to figure out what we're doing today.
Eventually, after we shoot the shit for a sec, eventually, I'm gonna do my episode.
Okay.
But until then, anything interesting on your end? Anything crazy happened today?
Today? No.
Or this week, I guess?
No. I mean,
I haven't got any text from you going, you know.
Dude, I'm just balls to the wall.
I'm over it.
Dude, I'm just balls to the wall fucking every day.
Yeah.
It all kind of blends together. It kind of feels like March 636th. You know, it doesn't feel like it's getting ready to be fucking August, and my kid's about to be 2.
That shit's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
We were planning his party. It's not really a party.
We're doing the same shit because we're like a week apart. So
yeah,
we're kind of like, fuck.
Well, dude, we're just gonna have family. I'm not gonna invite people over. It's still, the comfort level is not. You know what I mean?
Not exactly solid.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing is we weren't gonna do a big party anyway. You know,
not like your first one, which was fucking
it's like
shindig.
75 fucking people.
Y'all rented out of.
Yeah, we rented out a fucking clubhouse and shit. And he was so overwhelmed. There were so many fucking people there. He's like, this is all of the people I've ever met in my entire life. All at once.
Yeah.
He was like, this is weird.
And he's like, oh, wait, cake. Never mind. This is cool.
No, he didn't give a shit about the cake either. Because, we hadn't given him sugar. The first time he ever had sugar was on his first birthday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we're those parents. So,
which we were too, though.
But I
tried to get a sugar-free cake, dude.
Well, but the whole thing is I'm very much the anti-sugar guy. My wife is kind of a little bit more lax about it and isn't as concerned. But we're kind of full throttle at this point. We don't give him sugar at home.
Here's cake, kid.
But if he's around cake, or
you're not denying him the pleasures of.
We don't restrict his diet.
Right.
If he wants sushi, it's fuck it, man, game on.
Sushi it is.
Yeah. Eat some of that dead fish.
Oh, dude, we can't get our kid to eat shit, man. I'm like, okay, dude, here's your noodles, but then here's carrots and green beans, and he'll look at me and he'll take a bite of it and he'll go, and he'll just spit it out. And I'm like, well, you tried.
Dude, the older Knox gets, man, the more picky he gets.
Right.
You know, and I want to preface what I said before. I actually am very happy that we are doing something for his second birthday. It's just my wife gets overwhelmed at some points, and it's I'm like, he's 2. He's not looking at, does this color match that color? And I know you're really kind of throwing the party more for the aesthetic details are really there for the parents, but I'm just like, dude, we could have fucking ribbons and shit.
Here's a balloon.
Yeah.
A balloon. We're doing a Pocoyo. That's his favorite cartoon.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
Dude, it's actually pretty damn good. But it's his British cartoon. But anyway, so we're doing a Pocoyo banner that says happy birthday.
Dude,
and that's it.
Dude, my kid's been watching Giganosaurus and fucking Super Wings and shit like that.
I'm like, hey, look, this one, it says monsters and math. It's some monster math squad. I'm like, let's watch that. And he's like, eh.
Yeah,
Damn it.
We're doing Too Fast because he loves cars. So it's the number 2.
He's obsessed with cars too.
And Too Fast, yeah.
I'm kind of worried about my kid's level of excitement over cars.
Nah, man, like they're little dudes, man.
I mean, right? I'm just hoping he's not like sweet NASCAR. Although, hey,
like that's
props to NASCAR right now.
I was like, I like that. That's your
for real.
That's your fucking level of
disappointment. It was until recently. I will say that.
You know,
kudos to what up NASCAR.
Yeah, it's still just turning left.
I'm not gonna go watch races.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
No, I like racing. I like international racing when they have to do things like drive a car.
You mean turns?
Yeah, like
not just
up and down, turn left, right, like brake occasionally.
I don't know. So a buddy of mine is really into racing, and he's like, dude, watch. Apparently, there's a Formula One documentary that's phenomenal or something, and I'm sure it is.
I love Formula One.
Well, right. I don't know anything about it, so I say it jokingly, but actually, he says no. The level of physical level, like the high physical. I don't even know how to say it.
Whatever.
You got to be fit as fuck.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. And I'm like, to drive, you think, but then the mental game has to be on point. But physically, they say it like literally wears you out.
Well, like with F1 cars, like you have to be going a certain speed before the brakes even work.
What?
Yeah, like it's something fucking crazy. Like
Jesus.
There's a whole thing like with so like I watch Le Mans every year. Okay.
What is Le Mans?
It's a fucking race in France that's 24 hours. And they have 4 different classes of car out on the track at the same time. And they're literally driving on a French country road all night long. And there's 4 drivers, and like they pull in and pit. One dude sleeps for like 4 hours, and then another dude's driving the car. So you can literally be in first place in your class, go to bed, and wake up, and your buddy's fucked up, and you're in 5th place.
Oh wow! It's a
dude,
what do you call it?
It's an endurance race.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, it's all over the place. Like it's a fucking country road, and like they don't cancel for rain. They don't cancel for anything. And most of these cars are like, they're fucking high class cars that, I mean, they don't have like normal shit that you'd have in your car, nothing to keep your mind occupied, like to help you focus. Like there's no GPS, like obviously.
Right.
But there's a thing about those cars, like, so you're going at like 200 miles an hour and then you brake crazy.
Right.
And the kinetic energy from the acceleration to deceleration recharges the battery because all of those fucking cars are electric. So that's what's charging the battery throughout the course of the race.
Wow.
And if you're doing the shit wrong, you're burning out your battery. Like, so
add another level of wow.
But I preface this by saying, like, the reason that I find that so interesting is it's an amazing amount of like concentration and skill that goes into that. But most people don't know this, like your Audi and Porsche and Ferrari, like those guys use their prototype cars to test the new shit that ends up on cars that
are sold.
Right, yeah. Right. So they're like, oh, okay. So like eventually down the road, that deceleration technology will be used to charge electric cars.
No shit.
So instead of like you having to go plug your shit into the car, they're using physics to answer a question, and they're testing it on this track.
Wow.
So
all right, well that's actually cool as shit.
Yeah. So
like I drive from Indianapolis, which is 2 hours, back to Louisville, and I'm like, well, I'm tired.
Yeah.
From the road, my eyes are sleepy. I'm like, dude, I can't imagine.
Imagine having the 4-hour leg at night on a country road doing 200 miles an hour in the rain.
Nah, dude, we're driving to Florida. Yeah, I know. Great time to go to Florida next month.
Oh, fuck you.
Genius. Well, luckily, because I grew up there, I know where to go where there's nobody at. Like, you go to the beaches literally that are secluded.
Where nobody's at.
That's exactly right.
Dude, are you going for work?
No. We're going to see my dad for a second, but then we're actually taking Casper to the beach. Like, to the water.
Okay.
Yeah, but clearly...
You're going to the home of diarrhea.
Yeah.
To...
And the home of mad cases.
Yeah.
Like, it's not...
To go dunk your kid in sand and salt water. Sounds like a solid plan.
It's going to be fun. Well, like, we can go to like Myrtle Beach or something, but it's going to be crowded as shit, and I don't know anything there. You know, I'm like, whatever. So I'm going to go and see my dad, and then we're going to go. Actually, I think we're going to see Chad Jordan. What up, dude?
Oh, Chad. What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy? He may listen to this. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he does occasionally. I don't know.
What's up, dude?
We're off the fucking rails, by the way.
Yeah, I know. What's new? So
Why,
I forget where I was telling you about Florida.
You're going on vacation.
Well, yeah, we're going on vacation, but no, it's because I used to be able to drive that 12-hour trip, no problem, because it's about 12 hours. No way in hell could I do that now. I'm not old or anything, but just literally I can't drive.
Well, you are old.
I'm fucking old. I keep telling myself I'm not.
You're old.
Sorry to all of our older listeners.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, no, so we're going to split it up because the whole point of that was that there's no way that I could drive more than probably 6-7 hours without just being wiped.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
Well, there was a reason I was telling you that story because we were talking about the fucking cars.
No, I'm immediately judging your decision to go on vacation.
To go to Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, fair enough.
Like, hey.
When I say it out loud, I get it.
We're going to drive through Arizona and Texas,
go to Texas.
on the way to Florida.
I knew you were going to say that.
We're going to stop in some ICUs and shake some hands. I wear my mask around my mouth and not my nose.
I'll cut a hole.
Yeah.
All right.
So, all right, man. We did that last episode. So.
Well, what we didn't do last episode that I should have done is, hey, we're not going to be preachy about it, but we have our Patreon going. So our first 2 patrons signed up. And so, first of all, Pam Moyer, goodness gracious, number 1, thank you. Got to give a shout out to Pam. I've known Pam, so it was really cool to see that name pop up. But we just appreciate the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And I love you and miss you. But thank you for that. And then Lori Russo, what up, yo? Number 2.
Thank you, Lori and Pam.
That's right. Technically, we told you we'd give you a shout out, but I should have done that last week. So my apologies, but I reached out to you anyway. So thank you guys. For real, that shit's awesome. It's cool, and it's the direction we're gonna go, and we have to do it. We didn't want to do it, but we kind of feel like it's necessary to take this thing to the next level. So we do have our Patreon page that you can find us.
Yeah, no,
and feel free to.
I mean, we're kind of at the point where, not to interject.
No,
step
go
on
for
your toes,
it. No, please.
We're, you guys have really, everybody's really driven our, our downloads, our listens, that kind of thing, and we're quickly getting to the point where the fishbowl, we are quickly growing out of that. So for us to be able to continue to grow and provide better content and insane stories and things like that, we're literally taking all the money that comes in.
Every penny. That's not we're not bullshitting. We didn't want to do this, but he's right. Like in order. And we asked around, we've taken notes, and we've done research, and truthfully, at the end of the day, this is the best and I hate to say quickest, but hopefully quickest way to get to our goals. Like we need to up the quality of the show, like the actual, not just the content, but the sound, the audio, the video, and we need to buy shit to do that. So we need a little bit of love.
Yeah. So if you like us and you want to support us, we would be ever appreciative.
No doubt.
Go check our stuff out.
Hey, and if you don't, you can still listen to us.
Yep.
We're not charging for that episode, so please keep doing what you're doing. Share. And Pam and Lori, thanks again. You guys are fucking rad. So what else we got? We got our social media still. Figured let's jump into the plugs.
Are we still on social media?
Yeah, we just did we attempted to do an Instagram live. Never hit live on Instagram before, so I don't know if anybody actually watched it, or I think it's downloaded now. But
we're gonna start doing that every week.
Yeah.
So you get the pre-show before the show.
Yeah, exactly. Which turns out to just be me and him sitting here doing what we're doing now.
It's the same thing. But I mean, it's kind of. I mean, I personally like seeing the behind the music kind of shit.
Yeah, behind the scenes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, the reason for that one was because you always see the same photo of our backdrop. And so people said, well, what's the basement? And then of course Eric's talked about my scary dolls. So, so anyway, that's why we did that. But so we are on social media.
Your murder dungeon.
My murder dungeon.
Yeah.
Nerd dungeon.
Okay.
As I get older and my kid, we've talked about this. I'm like, yeah, I really never thought about having a kid while I was collecting this shit.
The boat basement combined with your internet search history.
It's pretty shady.
Yeah, it's red flags are flying.
They're everywhere, aren't they?
So,
but if you want to find us on our social media page, you can hit us up or find us on Facebook and Instagram at
Based on True Events Podcast.
That's right. Hit us up on the Twitter.
Podcast Boat.
Yeah, we want you to go to our central hub, of course, which is our
that's
website. That's essentially what we should plug, because you can find all the links to everything you need there. And do you remember it? Boat. I was going to say.
Podcast Boat.
Other way around. Botepodcast.com.
I know. That's what was immediately running through my head. I was like, wait a minute. We just said the Twitter thing.
So we changed the damn name of the website when we actually launched it. So we're both testing ourselves. But it's botepodcast.com.
Yeah. So it's simple. BOTE podcast.com.
That's it. Hence the reason for changing it.
Yeah. And then if you don't want to, for some reason, don't want to go to our actual main hub, and you stay away from social medias, then you can always send us your questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, hate mail, love mail to
Gmail
at boatbasement@gmail.com.
That's right. Boatbasement@gmail.com. Hit us up. Hey, if you don't want to fuck around on social media, we don't blame you.
Yeah,
it
can get a little
we get it.
hokey.
Yeah. So the point of all this is there's tons of ways for you to reach out to us. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to hear in the future. We've got we never talked about it again, but we love hearing suggestions, and so we did do this thing where we'd put out 4 of them. You guys would vote.
Because I think we're going to launch that back up.
Okay, cool. Well, we had talked about possibly switching it up a little bit, so just keep an eye out for something. But we want you to vote.
Okay, so my idea, I'll just pitch it on here.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck.
No, yeah.
So like in regards to the you pick, so I think we were going to put 4 episodes up. Okay, but it's going to be 2 episodes for you, 2 episodes for me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And then that way, like you can say, I want to hear 1, 2. And I want it to be
Shep do this one.
Shep do this one.
Yeah, okay.
Josh do this one.
I like that.
So you guys can kind of have control. Like if you're tired of hearing Josh squirm about something, you can send me down the nails, and we can kind of go that direction.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. All right.
So really, where we're trying to push the podcast is you guys are going to have more and more control moving forward with your suggestions, the type of things that you hear. We're driven by the suggestions that you guys have and the order and that kind of thing, and get to hear which one of us assholes does the episode.
Yeah, I like that actually. That's cool. Because and Shep said it best, this is just as much your show as it is ours.
Yeah.
And so I like that. That's a good idea. So all right, look out for that. We'll launch that here real soon.
Yeah.
So send your suggestions. And then of course I think we're still going to do I Wrote for Boat. We haven't talked about that, but I'm assuming we will. Basically we pick our favorite suggestion for the month, and we send your ass a free shirt.
Free shirts.
Free shirts.
Yeah, we'll drive past your house with a t-shirt gun,
the t-shirt cannon,
a COVID-friendly t-shirt gun, and just shoot it onto your front porch
from the safety of our rides.
Yeah, if you're in prison, we'll mail it to you.
There you go, or I guess in another country.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'd go to some other countries.
Yeah, no, not right now.
Well,
they ain't gonna let us in, that motherfucker. Thanks, guys. America.
I'll just repatriate to Norway.
There it is. So, all right. Yeah, I think that's all the plugs, man. You want me to dive in?
Yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah, I'm going to put my feet up.
Please do.
I'm going to play on the internet and let you.
Google some shit.
Yeah, I'm just going to hang out. I'm just here for the party.
Right on. So, well, that's how I found my topic, obviously, by just dorking around the internet. Okay. This wasn't a suggestion from you or it wasn't a part of my list. I went down some rabbit hole and then came across
Dude, you can say
this story.
You were on Pornhub.com.
Pornhub. heavy inspired.
Yeah.
Heavily inspired. No, so I came across this story and I thought it was interesting, and I had never heard of it before. I can't imagine you would have either.
Oh, thanks.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's not a popular one, but there has been a couple of podcasts that has done it, that have covered it, that has done it. So
that had done
it before. So anyway, I'm going to jump in. I don't even know what I'm going to title this one.
Cool.
It's about.
You never do. I get a text message at 11
That's true.
o'clock.
Hey, what's the title?
What's the title of that?
Well, so this is a story about, I guess, a group of people. It's not one
a cult
individual.
A cult.
Interesting, you say that. Culty.
Okay.
So I'm just going to dive in.
Okay.
On the surface, Zahid Zaman, and I don't know if I say Zaman right. Zaman is his last name.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and say it now because his nickname is Zed. And it's easier for me to say, so I'm going to call him Zed, or at least I'm going to attempt to call him Zed.
Okay.
Remember to call him Zed throughout the episode. So on the surface, Zahid Zed Zaman was a pillar of the community. I got pages of notes, by the way.
Is this in Boston?
No. No. Why do you say Boston?
I'm just asking a question.
Boston. Nope. Well, second thing I wrote down, he moved to Percy, Maine, North Shields in 2007. For those of you that don't know, Percy, Maine is a small village absorbed into North Shields, northeast England. So This takes place in England. The 43-year-old had appeared to be a good-hearted neighbor who would basically do anything for anyone. That, of course, quickly changed, and he began to make the lives of the people around him hell. Zaman, or Zed, told repeated lies. Dude seemed to get a joy out of it. He was good at it. He was very deceiving. And he had said that a car accident left him in a wheelchair. So this is a short, would be whatever, plump fella.
Rotund.
Who he rides around in one of those electric wheelchairs.
A rascal.
Is that what it's called? A rascal?
I guess.
Maybe. Okay.
I think that's what they call the ones that like grocery stores and shit.
Yeah, it looked like a fancy one of them.
Okay.
So he said that he was in a car accident that had left him in said wheelchair, although numerous people saw him up and at it. Like one neighbor literally saw the dude like shoveling or digging something. I can't remember, using a shovel.
A grave.
Right. The other guy another neighbor saw him like carrying furniture. So the whole point is the dude was faking it. Obviously, numerous people have seen it. He saw one person. Saw one story said that like some dude pissed him off and he literally chased him up the hill. And I'm like, you're doing this in broad daylight. People can see you.
He's saving his energy, and there's not anything that says you can't just ride around in a wheelchair.
No, that's true. But the fact that he's claiming to be,
he very well could have been in a car accident, and now he's just taking the lazy way.
He just ran up the hill. He's like, I'm winded.
What was it?
I need
from
my
the
ride.
Big Lebowski? You fucking gold bricker.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
He's faking it.
He's faking it. Oh, that's funny. For a long time, the entire community had no clue that Zaman was anything but kind and good. Dude was far from good. Far, far, far from good. He wore a body cam, which is weird, but he wore that because he would literally use the footage to bribe people. Okay. So like a hidden cam.
But everybody knew it was there, or was it a hidden camera?
Like a hidden camera.
Okay.
Like I don't think he wore like a, I don't even know. I couldn't tell you.
It's got like one of those shoulder-mounted cameras.
Like a VHS camcorder. Don't mind me.
Hold on, let me change tapes.
Oh shit!
Click,
hold on, tracking is off. Let me adjust this. No, it just I didn't see a photo of it, but it said he wore a body cam. They didn't call it a hidden cam, but obviously it was if you're going to bribe somebody. I don't know. Anyway. He actually placed cameras apparently all throughout the neighborhood for people's protection is what he said. But truthfully, it was to keep tabs on him. One of the neighbors even said that he felt like he was living, under surveillance. And I'm like, well, yeah, because you are.
You are.
Yeah, right.
It's a valid concern.
Right. The lies never stopped, and Zed was living the good life. I actually wrote down this slow roller. That's bad. Was meeting with.
It's okay. You can ridicule this man.
Yeah, I know.
He's a faker.
Yeah, that's right. But I'm calling myself out. I'm like, I attempted to obviously to make a joke here, and I'm the slow roller. My delivery was just going to be off, so I figured I'd come clean. Yeah. This dude was meeting with mayors and shit. Like, he was whining and dining with them, going to Christmas parties. Like, he was acting as though he was upstanding citizen and kind of in charge, if you will, lack of a better term, of the community of the area. He had everyone fooled, but it wouldn't last forever. Now, let me tell you about his little cult. It's funny you said cult. Not really a cult. I'll read something a little bit. They called it, I forget the terminology, but they said it was cultish or like cult-like. But it was a small group of people. So anyway, let me get into it. I wouldn't a club, yeah, a gang, a
social crew.
Yeah, basically. Well, yeah,
a PTA.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. He had a group of. I wrote this. He had a group of real winners that followed his every command and were essentially his lackeys. Mm-hmm. The names that I'll mention are these here: Ann Corbett, Kay Rayworth, Mira, I believe it's Mira Wood, and Jimmy Prout. Those are the ones that I'm going to mention by name. There was a handful of others, but
so he's got a starting 5 basketball team.
He's got yeah, exactly. The bench must have been wonderful. Yeah. I saw photos of these folks. So they would follow him down the road, so. I heard I listened to a little bit of a podcast, and they said that this crew, for whatever reason, he would be in the front, literally driving his little, what do you call it, a rascal?
Rascal.
The rascal was riding the rascal down the road, and they would literally be in line, kind of almost in formation behind him, as though in rank, which is really weird. And they would ride to the middle of this town. What did I call it? A
province?
No, but Percy, Maine. Maine. I guess that's the village, I think, actually, would be the best word.
Sure.
And basically, nobody fucked with them. Like, this dude, for whatever reason, and we'll get into it, but...
He's blackmailing everybody.
Yeah, and so this guy's running the joint, essentially. This little dude in a wheelchair. Like, just kind of ride around. And
first off, the angry bowling ball is a faker.
Yeah, so, angry bowling ball.
You said what he looks small like, and rotund.
He is,
you
too.
Know? So okay. So the angry bowling ball is just saving his energy, riding around on a rascal, and then if you get out of line, like
barking orders,
he can just jump up and tackle you.
Technically, yes. I guess he physically could get up himself, but the idea or the what I read was that they weren't like going around like beating people up and hurting people, because when I say this group, this gang, it's not even a gang, cult, we'll just call it a cult because that's what they're going to reference, but not a bunch of tough guys or gals.
They're not hooligans?
No.
It's a bunch of Karens?
Yeah, a bunch of Karens and with Darren, would that be the male version? Kevin?
Apparently that's what it is online. Karens and Kevins.
Oh, man. Sorry, Kevins.
Sorry, Kevin.
And Karen. All right. So, let's see. No one would interfere with what they were doing. Zaman or Zed had everyone wrapped around his chubby little fingers. So,
zing.
Yeah. I'm going to read this next bit off of BBC.com.
You're giving BBC a plug?
Yeah, there you go. Our first sponsor of the evening.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, BBC, if you're interested, you can reach us.
Yeah, that's right.
BOTEpodcast.com.
Yeah, or boatbasement@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. So Jimmy Prout was the fourth name that I'd mentioned. The other three, Ann, Kay, and Mira, were the three women and I don't know if it mentions it in this, but just in case it doesn't, I don't know exactly the relation, but I'm pretty sure he was kind of like, he could kind of get with any of them, and they just kind of, he says jump, they say how high, they were like, those were his top three were these homely looking women.
So
it's strange.
So they had a wicked turf war over a bake sale.
Wicked turf war over the muffins.
Over the muffins.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is where the bulk of the story or the episode will we'll talk about. Jimmy Prout, 45 years old, was found dead on wasteland near his home in North Shields on March 27th, 2016. A Newcastle Crown Court trial heard he suffered Dark Ages abuse at the hands of a group he thought of as friends. They called it Dark Ages abuse. To me, that's like brutal.
Right.
Right.
That you would assume so.
Right.
That is the picture they are trying to paint.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate, but we'll get into that. Ringleader, I like the way they call it, Zahid Zed Zaman, 43 years old, was younger than the dude, 2 years younger than this guy, was told he must serve a minimum term of 33 years, and Ann Corbett, 26, at least 27 years. She was 26 years old. Just so you can see who we're talking about here, Shep. I will post pictures of this guy and this this group of ladies. Not the most intimidating. When I'm done with the story, you're gonna go, what? Because I had heard it and I read about it, and then I Googled images and I go, what the fuck? Not what you picture. You know, when you hear a story or you talk to somebody, you already picture what they look like in your head. I was way off.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't getting there, but
no. Old Zed. Kay Rayworth, who was 56, and Mira Wood, who was 45, of North Shields, were also jailed for causing or allowing the death of a vulnerable man. Allowing the death. Rayworth was sentenced to 12 years and 4 months, and Wood for 9 years. So she got 12 years, one got 9 years, the other got, what did I say?
26 years.
27 years, and old Zed got 33 years. So all that you know for now, and I'm doing this on purpose, is that Jimmy was found dead.
It was medieval level torture.
What they call it, Dark Ages.
Dark Ages.
Right. Which, I mean, dude, Dark Ages, I don't know what time frame that's actually considered, but some of the stories you've covered and the method that they used, or the practices of death or torture, were fucking brutal.
Yeah.
The Viking alone, the fillet.
Yeah.
What's it called?
The Blood Eagle.
Blood Eagle. That's it.
And then everything from the Vlad Tepes episode.
Everything from that's right. Zaman, Zed, a wheelchair user, was branded as an evil, vindictive, manipulative, and devious man by Mr. Justice Dove, who accused him of scouring the internet and local soup kitchens to find vulnerable people he could control before coming across Mr. Prout and making him his skivvy. I don't know if that's an English term, skivvy, but I mean, obviously, I think lackey would be comparable. His name is Mr. Justice Dove, so now I don't know if his last name's Dove and that's like a British...
Or Dove Justice.
Or, I don't know. All four had previously admitted a further count of perverting the course of justice.
I'm assuming that is.
Where's the other two?
God, man, the one looks like Andre the Giant's illegitimate daughter.
Yeah, dude, straight up.
But
that's funny.
So I would imagine that's impeding the investigation.
Yeah, or not stopping anything. Just. It said previously admitted a further count of perverting the course of justice. Well, yeah, whatever. Going along with it.
Like fucking up evidence and shit.
Okay, yeah, that's true. During the 7-week trial, the court heard the group of 5, including Mr. Prout, had a strange relationship which had developed an almost cultish dimension. That's what I couldn't think of. Cultish dimension. With the way they put it. The jury were told Ann Corbett had shared a bedroom with Mr. Prout and would have seen the suffering he endured and even watched him die, but did nothing to stop it. Mm-hmm. The court heard that a series of events in late 2015 created tensions that led to a number of serious assaults against Mr. Prout, which included him having his teeth knocked out with hand tools. I don't know if they say it, but here it is. After Mr. Prout's body had been dumped, the court was told the group then set above covering their tracks by pretending to look for him and asking others to help. So basically they were just, hey, help us find Jimmy. Yeah, whatever. Let's see. Zaman was described as vengeful.
I keep wanting to say like Zamunda, like the place from Coming to America.
Dude, I know. I totally wanted to call him Zed through the whole time because that's what he looks like to me. But anyway, Zamunda. Fuck you. Let's see. Zed was described as vengeful and controlling and was determined to get revenge on Mr. Prout, who he believed had been involved in stealing from him. So another thing I read, dude stole tools, in theory, and that's why he's dead.
What do you mean? Oh.
Well,
okay. I see
we
what
don't really know.
Yeah. I thought you were saying Zed himself. That was like his racket was stealing tools.
No,
blackmailing people.
Zed had some tools, and the dude apparently, in theory, stole tools from him, and so.
Dude, have you been to Lowe's or Home Depot lately, man? Tools can get expensive.
They are expensive, no shit. Hence my electric set of tools, my fucking starter kit.
Yeah.
First home starter kit. Like, yeah, they all work together.
Yeah, I've got a screwdriver and a hammer. I figure if I can't sort it out with those two things, I got to call my father-in-law anyway. So
call the guy. Yeah,
I got to call the dude. Like, hey, man, can you help?
Right. Here, Mr. Justice Dove. I don't know if that's his name, but I feel like that's like...
Who gives a shit?
Like Judge.
Call him JD.
JD, Mr. JD.
Justice Dove.
Justice Dove sounds dope. I'm like, all right. Said words could not do justice to the brutality.
Justice.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, princess.
Oh.
Miss you. Mr. Inside joke. Sorry, folks. Mr. Justice Dove said words could not do justice to the brutality Mr. Prout endured or how they all had betrayed him, saying what he suffered was beyond imagining. He added the case involved the sadistic torture of a vulnerable victim, which was designed to inflict excruciating pain and monstrous violence. The jury was shown CCTV images, often taken from the cameras on Zed's house, of the worsening condition of Mr. Prout as the assaults continued, some of which showed him clearly unsteady on his feet and being pushed along the street. So I was going to mention this later, but what they're talking about is the last scene footage of him, and you can see like a snapshot of the video on there, and the dude looks just starved, and the two of the ladies are like holding him up and they're walking him. Apparently people said that they would see him walking with them, but he would just collapse.
And so nobody bothered to help.
Right. Well, because they were scared of fucking...
They're scared of wheels?
Bowling ball. Yeah, wheels. Oh, shit.
Squeaker, the angry bowling balls coming down the road.
Training
Everybody
wheels
run.
McGee. Yeah.
Everybody run.
Oh.
I hear he's got a wicked 40 that he can run.
That's it. One of the detectives or one of the police officers said, "This has truly been one of the most awful cases I have dealt with. The way these people treated this man was abhorrent." I always say that wrong. Abhorrent, yeah.
Abhorrent?
The H is silent. I said abhorrent. Abhorrent, isn't that right?
Sure.
Yeah, all right. He was brutally tortured by these people who were supposed to be his friends. It's hard to believe that a human being could have been treated this way. He said a domestic homicide review involving several agencies, including the Northumbria Force, was now underway into the circumstances surrounding Mr. Prout's death. Okay, so before... they didn't get into it on here, but of course I don't need to. But I figured I will, because that's how I roll.
Okay.
The four, since you can't see the image even on the video that I showed Shep, the three women are not intimidating. Like, they don't look like they could do much damage.
Okay.
Neither does Wheels.
Right.
You know what I mean? But so the images of Jimmy prior to his getting weakened and everything, dude was, thin guy, looked like he could hold his own. So I don't know how they managed to do all of this. I didn't see any, there's no drugging going on or poisoning, but essentially some of the things that they did to this guy, and you already heard about him smashing his teeth out. They literally smashed his teeth out with a hammer and a chisel. They broke his, what's that? Clavicle. They broke his shoulder bones. I don't think the clavicle only.
Up front.
No, it's the back. Is it tibia?
Okay. No. I know what you're saying, but the shoulder, the rotator cuff, and the
like that, his whole shoulder
bicep.
Yeah, like from his neck to his shoulder, and you can Google this if you want, but like Jimmy before he died was posting on Facebook, I think it was Facebook, but social media, like images of him, black eyes, one of his teeth are knocked out, his shoulder is black and blue, and he just posts a selfie, a picture of him saying like, my arm hurts, my shoulder hurts, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird that nobody, and I'm sure we'll discuss this afterwards, fucking went to help this dude. But he was broken bones. He was beaten with objects, and by these women. Now that you've seen this picture, because Zed swears that he didn't do anything. Of course, we don't believe Zed. So even if it was Zed, it's hard for me to understand the amount of damage that they did to this guy.
Okay.
Just by images alone, of course. But I guess we don't know.
Yeah.
They beat him with objects. They starved him, which. He's weak, and that's the only thing that I could think. He can't defend himself because he's starved. So this is why Zed is horrible, more than horrible. He made Jimmy fuck his dog.
His own dog?
His own dog. Now, I
don't think it matters if it
doesn't
was somebody else's dog.
You're right.
But like... I was thinking to myself, like, when you said that, like, why is he doing this to his own dog? Like,
I know. Do you not like your dog?
Yeah. Like,
but dude, like, obviously, that is just a level of humiliation and torture that
I don't understand. The made him do. Like, come on.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry.
Made
like
you're saying that he didn't?
No. I'm saying like I'm sure he made him do it.
Right.
But like, come on. How much leverage do you have on me, bro?
Well, that's where I don't get this story, and this is what we'll discuss because I'm almost done with my volley. It was a fairly straight to the point volley. Mm-hmm. That's part. Keep that in your mind because that's part of the question I have already mentioned. Like, I don't know how or why this was able to happen. The worst part of the torture, and yes, there is something worse. Well, I don't know if it's worse. Something else that happened was...
Something else?
Because I don't know what's worse than being forced to fuck a dog. That's next level demented. But they cut out one of his testicles.
That's probably worse.
Probably worse. And put it in a glass of water and made him eat it.
Again,
Made. Forced him to eat it is what they said.
Nah, dude, I'll have the ramen.
So, well, no options. You know, I don't know at that point. So before we jump in... I don't understand how they made him do it. I don't know why he was. I don't know how that happened. I know it sounds like you have a theory.
Maybe.
but
maybe.
The level of when I was reading, I was like, man, they beat the shit out of this guy. This is horrible. Oh God, his teeth. And then the last two things, like forced bestiality, and then you cut the dude's ball off, and then he eats it, or is forced to eat it. Mm-hmm. That's a whole level of sick that changes. When I look at those people, it changes the game.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
You said he got all his teeth knocked out, right?
Yeah. How'd he chew?
Yeah.
No,
my next part was going to be, please tell me he died of choking to death. that was the...
So they don't know. He was stabbed a bunch, but not they weren't.
They were superficial ones.
Yeah. Okay. Dude's ribs were broken. Like, it goes on. Dude was beat like this for months, starved. The two with the dog and the testicle thing. Those were the most severe, obviously. But I mean, the dude had been beaten, humiliated, just worn down, and then so the image of him walking, it's actually really fucking creepy because he's looking dead at one of the cameras. and he just like the shirt's too big. You can tell his belt's wrapped in like real tight, and he's got a big beard and stuff. And they said there's another video where he falls down, like he can't walk. So they're just like walking this guy around, and I'm going, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what makes them think they can take him in public and get away. Well, they didn't get away with it, obviously, but so he ended up being found wrapped in 2 sleeping bags, like not far from his home, just down in I think it was a ditch, if I'm not mistaken, just in the woods or something. Mm-hmm. So they basically tortured him for months and did these horrendous things, and he died of his wounds, I guess, or just
shock.
It could have been starvation. It could have been his wound. We don't really know.
Well, the ME should know.
Yeah, they...
Unless he was out in the elements for so long that they just couldn't
Well,
tag it.
By the time they found him, his body was decomposed pretty severely, and actually wildlife had eaten a lot of him. So, but they did say that he didn't die from that.
Yeah, no.
Like he died from these...
He was dead
his
when
torture.
They put him away.
Oh, yeah,
They put him in the bags.
Yeah,
no,
for sure.
I get that. Yeah.
He died from the torture. The last bit of this BBC bit was Mr. Prout's brother, Edward, said, I buried my brother Jimmy on my birthday last year, and it was one of the hardest things I've had to do. My brother was my best pal, and by killing Jimmy, they have killed a part of me. The officers in the case have been great, and I would like to thank them for everything. Now it is time for us to fully grieve in peace and move on with our lives. So, not that's sad, but it kind of, for me, it just hit home like, this dude was apparently, and everything else that I had read, this dude was no enemies, wouldn't hurt a fly type of guy. Just kind of, he thought these people were his friends, and so he made the brother the whole. I read another thing where he didn't steal shit. The guy was just sick and out to get him, and that guy was unfortunately the target. So they said when they were taking their walk down the street, and like I said, formation, Jimmy was always the one that was in the back. He called him his lackey, and so like he was the one, unfortunately, that they targeted. And can you imagine the woman sleeping in the room with them? That's why she's locked up, and she should be. But nobody did anything.
Mm-hmm.
So this dude died at the hands of a
sadist.
A sadist, 100%, but a half crippled. I mean,
a
faker, possibly entirely. I don't know. You know what I mean? I feel like there had to be at least some injury, but maybe not. So,
does he have a wheelchair in prison? That's your answer, sir. Does he have
I don't know.
Canes or fucking?
Yeah, I don't know. Good question.
The things I don't know what you call it. Arm
walkers
braces?
or
arm brace,
crutches.
or walker, crutches, anything.
I don't know.
Okay.
So
when just let me know when you're done.
Well, no, I'm done. So I have a lot of questions, but I'll let you.
Okay. So, not that this essentially diminishes the crime in any way. It actually probably makes the crime a little bit more heinous, in my opinion. Was the gentleman who was killed,
Jimmy? Yeah.
Jimmy, was he of a lower IQ? Was he
right? So they didn't say that
special needs in any way.
No. He was not. No, in fact, he was a father of 2.
Okay,
which doesn't necessarily mean. But I never read anything about him being, because I thought, was he an easy target? Like, was he off? Were they,
Yeah.
But it sounded like, and his brother said that he was his best bud. His brother was.
Yeah, but
totally with it. I know.
Yeah.
You're biased to the point that.
Well, yeah, but a lot of times in those situations, like, this is my best bud,
No, I get you. Well, it's a fair question, but
nothing,
from what I
from what you know,
from what I found, no, not at all. In fact, he looked like a fairly healthy young guy, way more fit than the fucking bowling ball. I think is what you call it.
Angry bowling.
The angry bowling ball. Which. That's my biggest question. How were they able to do this?
Okay, well, I guess I can look at this from a couple different ways.
Yeah.
Okay, taking me out of the situation, like the "what would you do" kind of situation.
Right.
just general populace, you think these people are, I guess, like your friends or whatever. They kind of take advantage of you. It may have started as, oh, look, this is what your punishment is. If you want to stay part of the group, we're going to take out one of your teeth and black your eye. And then it kept escalating. And then the bowling ball, Zed, he develops a taste for the Satas.
Right.
Whatever. Right. I would assume, this is all assumption,
of course,
but I would assume that the women may be fairly disenfranchised, never really felt like they were part of a group. They finally felt like they fit in, and he made them feel like queens, something along those lines.
They were fugly, so maybe he treated them like they've never been treated before.
Maybe they could have.
I know that sounds really horrible, but they're horrible people, so I don't mind saying this.
They could have had amazing personalities when they're not wielding a hammer.
Right.
I will say that even the most unskilled of combatants gets a fair amount more lethal with a baseball bat, a hammer, a tire iron.
Weapons, right.
Any bludgeoning equipment makes a formidable, a much more difficult challenge for someone to protect themselves.
Well,
especially if you're attacked while not prepared for it, not expecting it from the people that you trust and you've come to know.
And that is fair. And kind of where my head goes is, okay, they must have gotten in a good shot at the beginning and really done some damage. And
my
then
shoulder hurts.
Like head trauma. Like, who knows? You know what I mean? Like maybe he was almost blacked out through most of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like.
But this went on for months.
Because for me, like there's this, months. And so for me, there's this sort of adrenaline. I feel like you're able to do some crazy shit when your life's dependent on it. And I'm thinking this dude would be able to overtake.
Well, there's all those stories of the mother picking a car up off of her child. Right.
I don't know if any of that's accurate, but I mean, adrenaline makes you do crazy shit. I know I'm sure that's I get it. So I'm going, how were they able to do that other than the severity of beatings could have actually just beat him down?
You're not necessarily asking how could they mentally be okay with
physically
doing it, but physicality, how could they do it?
Yeah,
surprise attack would be the easiest way to.
You're probably right. Weapons.
To cascade this issue throughout, and then he's in pain. He's got blood loss. He's
starved.
He's incapacitated, debilitated to us. He probably needed the wheelchair,
right?
that was
horrible.
being used, and they're just taking advantage of it. You deplete the food supply, the caloric intake goes down, your body starts nourishing itself on muscle tissue and brain matter.
That's true.
And you keep somebody dehydrated. I mean, This is literally what prison camps of prisoners of war deal with. This is torture 101.
Right.
This is like not your skilled torturer,
right?
Who would just use psychological
mentally
tactics and break someone down. This is old school, dark ages torture.
Yeah.
And this is facilitated by not expecting the attack and getting in that good shot at the beginning. And then, I hate to paint this in a certain light, but you leave the light on at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
So they've got hope. That's why they continue on, why they keep, that's why they're not fighting back. Oh, they're going to let me go if I just do X, Y, and Z.
And I feel there was a bit of, hey, you learned your lesson. Don't do this again. Don't steal from the boss, man. that sort of thing. Okay, but they never stopped.
Right. But I mean, maybe they were threatening his children.
Oh, true. I didn't even think about that.
Maybe they're threatening his loved ones. And it was like, hey, man, you take this punishment or we're going to go fucking deal out this punishment
to your kids,
side. However, now that I've said that piece, you fucking touch me like that, you threaten my kids. Like, this would have gone on for a week. Right. At max, long enough for me to go through shock and concussion.
Right.
And then the minute I get a hold of one of you, I'm ripping your throat out with my teeth. Like,
100%.
If I don't have teeth, I'm doing it with my fucking broken arm.
My gums.
I will beat you to death with the bone sticking out of my arm. I don't give a fuck. I'm killing you. I'm poking your fucking eyes out. Like
I'm gouging your eyeballs.
Yeah, like I'm tearing your ear off and shoving it down your throat.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like,
well, that's a normal response.
Yeah, I'm making weapons.
Right.
Like
my body, something's a weapon, and no, I'll break my own arm so that a bone is protruding, and that's my weapon. No, I get it, and so that's where I'm going, man. Like, I understand if there is and this, I'm not being sexist because it's 3 women. These were big women. Don't get me wrong; they were actually bigger than he was. But there's a level for me of survival. You know, you're pissed at some point. I feel like, but they clearly got in too many shots, and he was obviously unable to. The whole fucking the dog thing. Something
broke.
Right.
Something missed.
Yeah, when you get into that sort of thing with the bestiality, like, you can't physically make. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a.
Yeah.
I don't know how that whole thing happened. We don't need to talk about it too much, but there's a level. There's a level of control here that I don't understand.
I mean, as for cults and cults and cults.
Well, hence the cult portion. These people were listening to everything this dude said in theory. But
that, I believe, is the piece of the puzzle that we're missing. Okay, so you got the blackmail, the weird camera thing. You got these people going around town essentially with 0 repercussions, and everybody's like, fuck it, we don't like this, but we're just gonna put up with it. Like, who the fuck does that?
It'd be different if the dude had an army, like literally armed, like gang members, like with his back. But I'm like, you saw the pictures, and I'm like, I don't see the intimidation.
That was kind of like why I was making jokes at the beginning, where I'm like, it's a wicked bake sale kind of shit, is because I'm like, not that people who participate in a bake sale couldn't do something horrible. Like, I'm not saying that, but my point is, like,
oh shit, that's
generally
funny.
That's not the population segment that attends sadist situations.
This is very true.
That it has a bloodlust, and so I'm very confused as to where the mind goes.
I assume,
like,
that,
what fucking carrot he's dangling in front of these people.
I kept waiting for drugs to.
Yeah,
they're all heroin addicts. I kept waiting for that.
Yeah,
but I never, I didn't dig too extensively. You know how we roll here, but I read multiple articles and I listened to a couple of short, snippets of podcasts just to make sure the angle wasn't. I didn't want to be biting anybody's stuff, but I didn't ever hear, drugs were the reason, or they doped him up, or they were crackheads, and so this dude gave him crack, and so they did everything he wanted.
Yeah,
like, there wasn't,
and
he wasn't like this.
They weren't
loaded. Like, they weren't living the life of luxury.
I can.
You can tell. That's what I'm saying.
They were sharing a Costco membership,
right?
Like,
maybe
just for the discount.
If they could afford that, that's right.
Yeah, like, but I mean, no. This looks like petty crime at its worst.
Right.
Like, this is like scavenger level petty crime.
Yeah.
And like,
that's why all of a sudden when I read what they did to this guy, I was like, holy fuck! Like, these people did that.
Yeah, like,
what? How does this doesn't make sense to me.
There's a lot that doesn't make sense. Like,
I'm not being heartless. It's horrible. I feel my heart goes out to the family, and it's fucked.
Of course, yeah. But if I was the family, I would have had much harsher words to continue with. Like, pull a Pedro and get fucking arrested and go in and fucking.
Damn right, Pedro, man. People. He could make a killing with just. But yeah, dude,
killing. Make a killing.
Thing. But yeah, the brother kind of gave an interview, and he just said, evil's too good of a word for this guy. But you could tell he was sad. But I was like, man, I would have been so rage would have just.
I guess that's the
don't interview me.
I'm pretty sure that's like the American side of our personality, though.
That's possible.
Like, we don't like that shit. Like the cameras, the weird behavior, all that shit would have lasted like 10 minutes in the States.
Yeah, no doubt.
We would have just been like, no,
stop doing that.
Yeah, wait, what?
Yeah.
No, take your weird harem.
Yeah,
Get off your fucking rascal.
I'm gonna run your rascal over with my car.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna control shit.
I'm not making assumptions one direction or the other, but what I am gonna say is, like, I feel like there's a lot of question marks here with the how did this happen? How did this? Okay, this is modern times. Like this story in the 60s. Okay, maybe I could see that this weird shit's going on. Okay. But, like, this is 2007 is when this dude got to town, right? And then the murder happened in, what, 2015?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Ish,
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, right.
Recently. And, like, the town just is just like, well, we're going to put up with it.
And I don't know that part of England.
Aren't going to fucking...
Well, right. So this is the thing is they were parading this motherfucker around. And I'm like, what? That's what I don't understand. I don't know this part of England. I don't know if it was, like... the slums. I don't know anything about that area, what it's normally like. You know what I'm saying? But,
like,
no fucking way.
Yeah, no.
Somebody would have seen him and been like, dude, Jimmy looks awful.
Yeah.
Like,
where was why the fuck didn't the brother go, like, check
where's
on
the
him?
brother? Yeah, right. And
he's my best pal.
He hasn't seen his kids, so maybe
I'm not trying to talk shit about the family.
No, I know.
But, I mean, you have loved ones. You have...
Yeah. Well, he has 2 kids, and that's the other thing. And there was a little something about the ex-wife or the mom. I guess they weren't really, obviously, together. And so I don't know if that meant he wasn't in the kid's life. Maybe he was kind of a bum dad. I don't really know.
Well, I mean,
to me, that wasn't really necessary.
Not justifying his killing.
No.
No, but I don't understand, like, in the modern era... like, how shit just happens. Like,
the reason I'm saying that, somebody would have been like, hey, dude, you haven't been to see your kids. Like, where the fuck are you? You know, what's going on? Where's Jimmy? Like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, where's Dad?
Yeah.
But again,
especially
I don't know
you're posting these cryptic battle wounds on fucking line.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, dude, like the picture, and there's plenty of images. There's not a ton. There's nothing like too horrific on there. So if you do like to look at photos, feel free. It's fairly safe. Like sometimes on these episodes, I say Google something and people are probably like, "You fuckers, that's awful." There's no dead bodies or anything, but his entire shoulder is purple and black, like it's awful. Mm-hmm. And people would have seen that on social media, and nobody said, "Dude, you all right?"
Yeah.
So I don't know his story and what's going on, but hence the cultish. It's like they just lived in their own world. So I don't think it's as much of. He controlled the town. I think people were just like, we don't give a fuck what those weirdos are doing. Just let them do their own. We don't, you know what I mean? Like the way it made it read, where he was controlling the neighborhood. I don't really buy that.
I mean, I'm not saying I buy that either, but it's at a certain point, like, okay, man, red flags are everywhere. Like, dude, your weird camp is. we're gonna kick the door in. Like, we're gonna knock on the door. And meanwhile, like, the dude's out, like, I don't know, man. There's just a lot of stuff here where I'm like I want to hear their defense. Yeah. Like, unless they were just like, yeah, we did it.
They ended up admitting.
Well, at first. I'm sure they did, but I want motive.
Zed and the...
Like, how did it spiral? Like, if you fucking, like, all right, let's say he stole tools. Like, that's the rule. That's, like, right. Essentially the motive behind this.
Yeah.
If you're pissed at somebody because they stole something from you, you fucking kill them immediately. You don't drag it out over the course of a few months. So he's like...
That's another thing he posted.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, it's just...
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. This is a weird one. Yeah. It's why I chose it, because I was like, there's so many questions. I didn't choose it because of the 2 horrific, headliners, which, by the way, every single article... that I read, everything, that was the headliner. Dad of 2 forced to have sex with dog and testicle was eaten, or had to eat testicle. That was the headline, and I was like, I'm gonna leave that to the end, because it is. I thought it was necessary because I like hearing people squirm and shit, but also it raises the level of sickness for these individuals. Which is why I don't mind calling them names and shit like that, because that's a different type of crime. You know what I mean? They took it to a different level.
Yeah.
And
like,
Yeah, I don't know. They I forget the one lady, and I'm forgetting her name. I wrote it down, but Ann Corbett, she was the one that got the most time because she was in the room with them. But so Zed basically blamed everything on her, and she blamed everything on him. And then eventually he said, "Well, no, yeah, I didn't ever do any of the actual physical stuff, but yeah, I gave orders or whatever." So
it's weird, man. This kind of ties in with what I'm the book I'm reading right now. It's the book is about Charles Manson, and those murders. But I mean, okay, to be completely honest, there's been a lot of times that we've taken shots at the investigators that have kind of dealt with some of these crimes and been like, dude, what the fuck? This just seems like sloppy, lazy police work kind of thing. I don't know that that's necessarily always fair when we make those comments because, you know, there are a lot of times when it comes to a murder where there's multiple boxes. So, like when I say multiple boxes, it's like, okay, this kind of fits our theory. This evidence doesn't fit our theory, but it's there. Like we can't avoid it. We don't understand it. There's this stuff that completely supports another theory. Like there's like the evidence can kind of lead in a lot of different directions sometimes.
Right.
Okay. And like with the vampire of Dusseldorf or whatever, like he was changing his MO. Like he was into arson. He was into murder. He was into
knife, hammer.
Yeah. Like his tools were different. Like he was actively trying to fuck with the police. So that one's a little bit more understandable. Like you already have a situation where there's a ton of boxes for evidence.
Yeah.
And now you're like, okay, is this a group of people? Is this, one or two people? Is this multiple issues that we're dealing with? Is it a gang? So like, I understand like how investigators can follow smoke in a fire,
right,
and get in trouble that way.
Right.
Where I won't agree in this situation is when they're dangling a situation in front of you. It's like, dude, somebody go check on them. Like,
just check on them.
Like, you at least have enough probable cause to knock on a door.
Right.
Like, you at least, as a town, like, you may not be friends with dude, but like, you see him. His health is deteriorating.
You see
in
him,
front of you.
He's being held up. He literally collapses. You're not going to just, ask a question.
Yeah. So
I'm with you. Like it shouldn't have happened. Not because like that type of shit shouldn't happen, but I mean, like, it shouldn't have been able to happen. They shouldn't have been able to get away with it. No, it should have never escalated to the point where it got. If they beat him up, that draw the line.
Yeah. So I think there's a couple of different cultures in the way that the modern society kind of rolls right now. It's like, keep your eyes down, don't pay attention. It's not my business, I ain't asking kind of situation. And then there's like, I'm going to be way too much in your business. And there's not a whole lot of gray area when it comes to that. Like, there's, especially like right now, like nobody really knows.
Everybody's holding their phones up.
Yeah, like nobody really knows, like, where do I get involved? How do I get involved kind of thing. Like, I want to help, but I don't, I also don't want X, Y, and Z to happen. Like, so I think it's kind of a weird time, but this happened, 5 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, not long. This is probably the most recent case we've done.
Yeah. So in my personal opinion, I mean, dude, you see another human being, like, obviously
in trouble.
Like, dude, yeah, that's the time you fucking chime in.
If you don't want to go physically get involved, which with those people, I wouldn't have been intimidated. Yeah. And I'm not a big dude, but I'm just we're talking about just physicality alone. Yeah. I'm not going to be afraid to walk up there and go, "You all right, dude?"
Yeah. You shut up, Wheels.
Chill out, Wheels. Yeah.
I'll roll you down the hill.
Karen, take it easy.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
Your meatloaf is burning. I got to fucking.
So, yeah, like, I think this is definitely the time as a society where we all really need to spend a lot of time really giving a shit about our neighbors.
Yeah.
And really just kind of like taking all of the things that helped us get to this point in civilization and respecting the reasons that we haven't blown ourselves up,
Right.
that we took the high ground when we did. Like, instead of firing nukes at other countries, we decided, like, hey, let's go to the table and talk. Like,
Right.
let's maybe not say the most inflammatory things to people just to see if we can pick a fight.
Right.
Like, maybe we should come to the table with a little perspective or willing to listen.
And if you see somebody in trouble, you don't have to get involved. Call the police.
Yeah.
That's all they had to do.
Yeah.
One neighbor. Hey, dude, I'm going to go check on Jimmy, would you?
Or
I don't want to get involved, but I'll let you because that's your job.
yeah. So, I mean,
But what you're saying is absolutely accurate. Hey, right now, give a shit about each other.
yeah.
Don't be a dick.
And
I posted on Twitter just a simple, hey,
don't be a
good
dick.
morning. Don't be a dick today.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
I mean, I'm not getting on a soapbox 2 episodes in a row.
That's fair.
but in this situation, this seems like ain't my business, ain't getting involved kind of situation by everybody around. And it's sad, man.
Cost this guy his life. Yeah.
Like their apathy or whatever for these people and the situation, they're like, just look like they were just tired of dealing with it.
Yeah.
And they were just like, I'm going to ignore this until it boils over into my front yard.
Right.
And we have a dead body because of it.
Yep.
A very disgustingly dead body.
Yeah. They took it to a level where they locked up, I think actually I did read somewhere else that Zed got life. Because I think what I just read from BBC said 33 years, but I'm pretty sure they actually gave him life, which I know 33.
Well, let's be real.
I know.
Dude, 33 years is that dude's.
Yeah.
That is life for that.
Yeah,
dude.
he's going to die in prison, which is fine.
I wouldn't mind seeing that speeded up a little bit.
Yeah, right. Like tomorrow.
Sped up.
Or yesterday.
Sped up. No, I mean, it doesn't have to be tomorrow. Like, let's stretch it out over a couple months.
Let him. Well, it depends how he's getting along in prison.
Yeah.
If he's suffering, then yeah, all right.
Yeah.
You could draw it out for a little bit.
No, I'm saying they can make him suffer. Like,
right.
Make him fuck his dog and cut off his testicle.
No, the poor dog. No, fucking.
Make him eat it.
Don't bring any more dogs into it.
Okay.
But yeah, cut his nuts off. That's fine. God damn.
Have a dog fuck him.
Hey, there you go.
There you go. Have a dog fuck him, and then have the dog eat his testicles.
There it is.
There we go.
There's the answer. An eye for an eye.
There's your happy bow.
All right. So, there's the story of Zed's little weird cultish thing group,
yeah, man.
And the poor story, the sad story of Jimmy Prout.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
it's a weird one, right?
It's weird, but it's like sad. I mean, it's obviously sad.
It's sad, right?
But it's sad that like this is a completely avoidable loss of life. Like this could have been stopped at a million points. This could have been stopped before it even started. Like, dude, why are you hanging up cameras?
Yeah, stop hanging up
cameras.
All
right, first off, I saw you get out of the wheelchair and hang up a camera. Like,
right.
I'm going to pop your tires. Like, I don't
understand how that dude had any power over anyone.
Yeah.
But
so,
again,
disenfranchised. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know this and that. I mean, there's certain questions I don't know that they're going to answer. They're just probably one of those things where it's like, look, it's over.
They're locked up.
They're locked up.
Fucked up story.
We're not going to keep digging.
Right.
So, and peace for the dead kind of thing. Let the families
which
move
is fair.
on.
Yeah. Which the family did say that's all they want to do is grieve and just be left alone.
I mean, in my opinion, and that's what this is.
Of course,
we don't love the bad guys. That's kind of one of the points of the podcast.
No.
Like we fucking hate these deplorable pieces of shit.
Yeah.
But we do kind of review these things and go through them and research these things because I don't think it does any justice to the victims to just wash it away with history.
Right.
And like these are things that happened. And, until we start really addressing the reasons why these things happen,
they're going to keep happening.
And maybe like pay attention to offering assistance to people who need it. Maybe we can avoid some of these issues before they happen, right. Before there's loss of life, before people are going to the grave site on his birthday.
That we'll end on that. That's the moral of the story, man. Just help your neighbor out, dude.
Help your neighbor.
Be a good neighbor.
Yeah.
Be a good person.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a fucking angry bowling ball.
Yeah.
Or a bake sale Karen is that what you
bake sale Karens.
Sorry. And again, sorry, bake sale lures people. Maybe who bake sale, whatever. All right. Well, so that's the tale of a weird one, but I felt it was a good enough story to bring.
The bake sale cult.
The bake sale cult. There it is.
The angry bowling ball and the bake sale cult.
That's the title. That's it.
There you go.
So all right. Well, I'm done.
All right.
I got nothing else to say on it. I think you covered. I like your takeaway.
Okay.
Just don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Well, no. That's the moral of the story.
We're closed. Fuck off.
Fuck off. We're closed. All right. Good shit.
Good shit.